What's up, athletes and fans? Welcome to another episode of Athlete POV. I'm your host, Charlie Paulucci. Before this video starts, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment down below for who you think we should get on this podcast next. Being from Florida yourself, was Florida State always like the main school that was in your mind for where I wanted to play college softball?
Honestly, I didn't really have an idea of where I wanted to play. I just know that I wanted to play college softball and then, play some tournaments and travel along. Coach was
Definitely.
like, hey, Florida State wants you. Cool.
Hey,
Go.
sometimes stuff just happens like that, and my team and I, we did a little bit like a little bit of digging on you, and we found in high school, senior year, something I saw something you batted about 700, a senior year at Riverview High School, and I was like, whoa, because I mean I played baseball when I was in high school, but 700, that's I never you never hear that number, so explain that and how that season, how your senior season went.
Yeah, I was just going to have fun. I knew it was my last year, and there was only three people in my senior class, so we were pretty small, but we were pretty close knit. We definitely like to have fun over at Riverview, so I think that's just what it was, just having fun and playing the
Yeah,
game.
definitely. And then when you're having fun, I feel like nothing else matters because when you do stuff not for like the rewards or not for the to get like some sort of selfish benefit out of it, I feel like the best things come out of it because it's just natural. It's the way you are. It's the way your team is, and I feel that's ultimate. That's probably a big factor of why all the success that you've had so far. But what I want to get to now is not everyone just gets to where you are by luck or chance, right? So obviously, some sort of hard work. Not everything is all just show up and play and swing a bat, right? So I want to
Yeah.
get at part of your past of and current training in like nutritional values history. What are some non-negotiables for you when you're preparing for a season? When you're training, what are some things you do?
Training here is pretty intense, but we keep it pretty chill. We have practice Monday through Friday, maybe even Saturdays when season hasn't started, but even we're starting up this weekend, so we're super pumped about that. But nutrition's super big for us, especially because it fuels us. Like that's what we take in, and the better stuff you put in your body, the better your body's gonna feel, and the better your body feels, the better you're gonna play. So that's super big. But we like to get in our extra work too before practices, even after. Whenever we really can, whenever school's not bombarding us with homework and all that. So, yeah.
Definitely. And with this 2022 season coming up, literally in the next couple of days, you'll be starting. Obviously, the goal is to win a championship. Now, my main thing question here now is what have you done in your team differently this past off season to not end up ultimately where the season ended last year? Like, what has anything really changed?
We're coming out pretty intense. I think our runner up last year in the World Series is really our driving motivation right now. We're not upset about it. We're not angry about it, but we're super excited to just see where we end up, and we're looking really good this year. So we'll see how it goes. We're being pretty aggressive in the cages and on the field, and we're being very accountable towards each other and making sure we're staying above the line, not half-assing things, as you could say. But yeah, we're doing pretty well.
Absolutely, and I can completely relate to when you said from like a loss in a previous season how it can fuel you to take the next step to the next level. Just an example, back in high school when I played also football, we lost in a state championship my sophomore year, and that next junior year you can just feel the intensity like in the locker room, in the weight room, like anything where the team was together. You just had like I felt it wasn't even like really said that much, which I probably could have been more. But just an overall mindset for a team is different when you take that loss when you got so far, and then you just have to make it count this next year,
Yeah.
especially since expectations are there. You got to now take the next jump, and So now with Florida State and Coach Alameda, is that how you pronounce her name? Sorry.
Yes.
All right. With that, how does it feel to play for such a storied school and for softball? I mean, runner up last year, you guys won the whole thing in 2018, and then I saw also Florida State the school has only had two coaches in the whole program career, right? How does it feel to play for such like a storied program like Florida State?
Yeah, we're really big on building our culture and maintaining it. We're really huge on our legacy here, and our upperclassmen are very good at informing the lower classmen and people coming in, like transfers. That we're really playing for the Seminoles on the front of our chest, because we actually do represent a Seminole tribe down in Florida, so it's like super big. Like we look to them for logos and all that stuff. So we like to remind ourselves of that. We don't have our names on the back of our jerseys or anything like that for practice. But it's just really we're just playing for the FS, and we talk about our culture a lot, which is something that is very adamant and it keeps us on track. And it's really easy. It's not hard. It's probably gonna be difficult, but we're really good at making sure that we keep it alive for sure.
Definitely. And when you said how there's no names on the back of your jerseys, that, being from the New York City area, I'm a Yankees fan, and there's no names on the back of the Yankees jerseys.
Yeah,
So I kind of just related that a little bit. Very similar
yeah.
culture, I'm assuming, which is amazing. Winning culture, stuff that gets things done. So now I have to ask, who are you looking most forward to playing this year? Like, I'm assuming it might be Oklahoma if they're on the schedule, but who are some teams that you are really looking to play?
Honestly, we're as a program, we're really good about just worrying about the next team that we're facing, and our biggest opponent is ultimately ourselves. We're playing ourselves every game, so as
Hmm.
long as we keep that mentality and go one pitch at a time and one game at a time, I don't think that we're going to run into too many issues. But softball is growing and the game is getting very, very well known, and all the teams around are pretty good. So it's more us against ourselves now.
That's a perfect answer. I mean, someone from like a media outlet, I feel like that's a question you have to ask just because of what
Yeah,
happened last year. But perfect answer coming from an athlete. Yeah, that's anyone watching. That's how you're supposed to answer stuff, because you don't want to. I mean, you know how the media works and everything gets out of proportion. So that was a perfect way to answer stuff. Um,
thank you.
so now, going forward, as you mentioned just now, how softball, the sport, continue to grow. Um, it's just like it's known that it's not as popular as some other sports. What would you say to some girls, growing up, trying to now go into the next level of college softball, and how they can maybe handle the next level, or where do you see the future for softball going?
I see softball growing tremendously in the next 10 years. I think we're going to develop our own professional league again. I think things are just going to keep working up for us. I think for girls who are trying to get to the collegiate level, just don't forget to have fun and stick to the play that you are. And always work hard because, hard work beats talent, as people say. Um, but it definitely takes grit. It definitely takes a strong want to get better to just continue to grow as a player. And I think that that's very important. Sometimes you get lost. And I think surrounding yourself with successful people is pretty essential. And I think that if we keep working hard, there's really nothing that we can't do as softball players for sure.
Absolutely. And now another big thing that we like to talk about to every athlete on this podcast, Athlete POV, is we like to hit on athletes' mental health, male, female, whatever sport, just because athletes' mental health doesn't get talked enough about nowadays, and I feel like it's a very quiet subject, uncomfortable, and we like to ask athletes that come on here if they have any advice to anyone that's dealing with something, that's going through a tough time. What would you say to somebody going through a situation like that?
I would say bluntly, don't put your pride before yourself. Like your mental health is super important, and it genuinely dictates like everything that goes on in your life. And you could be going through it and don't even realize that you're acting a certain way or not even purposely. But I think that just being able to talk about it and being vulnerable and being comfortable with being uncomfortable and talking about your issues is something that's very important. And utilizing the resources that you have around you and your friends, your parents, your family, like super
Hmm.
important to just know that at the end of the day it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out exactly how it's supposed to.
Definitely. And when you say it's good to like look at friends, family, coaches, people like that sort of nature, do you have like any role models that you yourself look up to that have really guided you or gave you wisdom or knowledge to get to where you are today?
Um, I would say I've just had a lot of outside factors, and I pick and choose from certain things what I like and want to adopt, and
Hmm.
a specific role. Uh, but there are certain things and certain people that I really did like. that I decided to take them, and it's been working out for me so far.
Hmm. That's very interesting because I feel like when you said you pick and choose who you take stuff from, I guess that's a cool way of saying how you pick where your energy comes from. If you say, because not everyone, especially if you're with them all the time, I'm getting at, is not always in your best interest. Because I guess a lot of people can relate to, like, say, their parents. Of course, they always want the best for them, but sometimes it's not exactly what aligns with what the kid or yourself would think or want to do. So I feel like picking from different everywhere, like you said, can get you in the a better mindset for just an example of how to
Yeah,
pick out the type of media, the type of knowledge, the type of information, ultimately
yeah,
making you you. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's very cool.